Hello, everyone. Welcome back. This is Rando Geek. All right, so I have 4 stories that I want to talk to you about today. This is going to be more like a traditional podcast. I consider most of my videos news/podcast videos anyway, because a lot of my updates they can get long if I have a lot to talk about. That's just how I do things. I don't want to sugarcoat it. If there's a lot to say, my videos can be anywhere from 4 minutes to 20 minutes. And, that's just how I do things. I'd rather keep it honest. I'd rather keep it real. So that's those of you that have been watching for a while, that's just how I do it. It depends on how I'm feeling. It depends on what I really got to say, how much I feel I need to express to get my point of view across the board. But in this case, we're doing this longer, more traditional podcast style because there's a couple of things that I want to talk about, and I don't have the time to do 4 separate videos. So I figure let's just do a longer one. If you guys have time, you can just sit back, press play, make some dinner, do some laundry, whatever it is you got to do, have me in the background, and then you can get your updates this way. From time to time, I might do this if there's a lot to talk about and I can't do separate videos for them, throughout the day or even at night. So anyway, 4 updates. 2 of them are for T-Mobile. 2 of them are for AT&T. And the first one, well, actually, before I get started, links for all of these articles will be down below for you in the description if you would like to read them on your own, okay? So you can get all your information and references in the description down below like I usually do, but there'll be 4 articles listed down below for you as your references. All right, so the first one here, T-Mobile's Hulu on Us perk is about to change for the worse. So a little backstory here. You know that T-Mobile was originally offering their customers free Netflix subscriptions with their mobile plans. Of course, at the time, this included Netflix, and it was ad-free. But then there were some changes early this year, 2024, January, where Netflix basically decided to redo all their plans. This is not T-Mobile's fault, but they decided to redo all their plans with standard Netflix with ads plans, and of course raise the price on top of it. So what happened here is, there was some changes between the 2 companies, T-Mobile and Netflix, and a lot of legacy customers were going from that ad-free experience to a bunch of ads, and for many, that's a deal breaker. Some customers get real tight about having ads. They just can't stand it, that they're willing to pay whatever it is to just get rid of them or unsubscribe entirely if they have to deal with ads. So T-Mobile brought around Hulu with ads to kind of supplement the loss between the deal with Netflix. At the time, there was a via one-time redemption code. Hulu on Us was also added to the list of perks that new customers get when signing up for the Go 5G Next plans. Of course, at the time, many customers wondered how T-Mobile would continue the On Us benefit once the year ran out. So as we approach the end of 2024, going into 2025, the mobile report says they now have a clear path as to where the T-Mobile Hulu on Us program is going to be heading. So according to documents, which they claim they're unable to share right now, say that T-Mobile will now be offering the Hulu on Us perk via T-Mobile billing. This will work just like Netflix, and customers will sign into the Hulu via T-Mobile and set T-Mobile as their payment method on the Hulu account. They're saying, of course, there's a big catch. T-Mobile will only pay for the Hulu with ads plan. So this means that unlike the Netflix perk, customers will not be able to upgrade to ad-free and pay the difference. So you know how like if you had the original standard Netflix, which I think T-Mobile was paying $10.99 a month, Netflix was raising their price $1 pretty much every year. Maybe they skipped like 1 year. But when all is said and done, at the time when T-Mobile took away the Netflix on Us ad-free perk, it was like $14.99 for Netflix. So customers that had Netflix were paying like $4 or $5 a month. They would have been paying $15, but you were paying like at least $4 a month out of pocket to keep that ad-free experience. But you can't even do that with this change to the Hulu on Us perk. So you'll follow the process like you did with Netflix. You'll have to go to Hulu and take care of it that way, set T-Mobile as your payment, but you're only getting the ad experience. You will not be able to pay for an ad-free upgrade. So if that's something that bothers you, it could affect how you feel about your plan. You may want to downgrade to a cheaper plan. You may want to find an MVNO. It really depends on how important this is to you. Some customers, this perk and the Netflix perk was the reason for why they even chose to stay with T-Mobile, maybe even consider signing up at all. Maybe that perk was that important to them. It's not every customer is going to be that upset about it, but there are some that might see this as a bad thing, a turn away. So they're saying not only that, but customers that have had Hulu on Us for the last year and who have added an add-on like Disney Plus will need to remove that add-on to be eligible for free Hulu moving forward. So they're saying you can get Hulu with ads or you get nothing. So they're now taking away that perk as well. So again, like people that are on T-Mobile that have a lot of lines, large families, a lot of children, this is gonna really tick them off because, as we know, Disney Plus, this is pretty much family entertainment, right? And Hulu is also considered family entertainment, and they probably customers that were interested in adding Disney Plus wanted the Hulu. And they wanted the whole family experience. They have all their lines on T-Mobile, all their children or whoever it is, being able to take advantage of this, and the parents paying a decent price for all these perks. T-Mobile is going to go ahead and switch them. This is the issue with postpaid a lot of the times. And when you have multiple lines, and it goes back to the original, entrapment of the old days of wireless, where they it's like you're a fish in a pond, and they throw out the hook and they catch you and they wheel you in. You're just a fish in a pond with these deals. So that is going to upset a lot of customers. And personally, why I really like MVNOs, and I also like no contracts, none of that, not being tied into to have to deal with all the changes that come of these companies. As we know, they can't keep it straight. Nothing lasts with these companies anymore. There used to be a time where some of these plans would last for years before they made some kind of change. It's literally multiple times a year now where they're upgrading, downgrading, changing, rearranging, and it's confusing and it can stress you out. Especially if you've become dependent on these types of services that they're offering. If you bring other members of your family into the lines, you're now inconveniencing everybody. And if you want to leave because you're now tied into a line that's you feel no longer worth it, you're stuck because you can't just close down shop because you have other people that have their lines operating. You don't want them to lose their phone numbers. So it becomes a headache. That's they know that. And that's why they play these games, because they know that they have you. They know that it's going to be hard for many customers to shut down multiple lines because of the inconvenience and importance of having those numbers. Even a day without your phone, or even a couple of hours, for some people can be a real setback. If there's someone that gets multiple calls from people that they talk to regularly, maybe they're using their lines as a partial business. Maybe they're independent contractors or whatnot. They do construction or they do something, anything, whatever it is. This could be a problem. So anyway, they're saying it's unclear which party made the decision to disallow upgrades. They're blaming this, however, on Hulu. As we know, streaming services are having problems, but nonetheless, doesn't matter. The Netflix increase was their fault too. It wasn't T-Mobile's. They did honor it It's Netflix. They kept raising prices. Netflix is by far the worst because they keep raising prices and taking away programs. Raise the price, give you less. Sounds like a great deal. I'm being very sarcastic if you can't tell. But this is the problem with streaming services. This is the problem with a lot of these things. And, unfortunately, wireless gets the bad end of it as well because they're just looking to make partnerships with companies that offer perks that they think their customers would be interested in. They're trying to attract business. T-Mobile's only doing what Verizon will do and what AT&T would do. I mean, AT&T just kind of stepped away from all of it, and maybe this is why, because it's just a big headache trying to make deals and build friendships with these streaming services that just keep going back on their word and they keep changing over and over again. And it makes the carriers look bad, right? Because now the carrier has an unhappy customer whose call center is going to be flooded. T-Mobile's, right? Now all the customers are going to be calling T-Mobile complaining, threatening to cancel. Now T-Mobile's going to have to do everything they can to maintain those accounts. They're going to have to give them free perks, take some charges off of their bill, whatever it is, because I guarantee you people are going to see this as a big opportunity to take advantage. Okay, we know how it gets. And they're not entirely wrong to be upset, but this is the mess that the carriers have to deal with when you try to build a partnership with these streaming services, whether it's, media such as like, Hulu or any one of these companies, Netflix, or even music, right? If they had these deals with Spotify, Apple Music, whichever one, it's still going to be a problem, right? So that's what we have here. They're saying that, like I said, Hulu. So because they rather have the ad revenue from all those free accounts instead of the $9 upgrade fee they'd get from the ad-free customers. So it's a matter of Hulu just being greedy. They're saying, of course, it's a very anti-consumer move, which I think so. I think it's going to hurt both sides very much. Because even though customers are going to be mad at T-Mobile, they're going to remember Hulu, the ones that read, okay, and don't just jump to conclusions, will know that Hulu is responsible. It'll get out there. Podcasts like this and others that cover these topics regularly will all talk shit about these companies, as we should, because, Hulu is doing a bad thing. And, get the word out and bash them because that's what they deserve. They're doing very anti-consumer moves. So as a summary, here are the customers that are eligible for Hulu on Us. So everything we just talked about, if you still are interested in Hulu on Us, this is how it's going to go. Plan. So you have to be on a Go 5G Next plan. Your streaming perks will include Hulu with ads, Apple TV Plus, Netflix Standard with ads. All right, grandfathered plans that had Netflix Standard prior to January 2024. Your streaming perks will include Hulu with ads, Netflix Standard with ads. Go 5G Plus and Magenta Max, if you're on those plans, Apple TV Plus, Netflix Standard with ads. Go 5G or Magenta, Netflix Standard with ads. If you're on Essentials, Essential Saver, you will be eligible for none of these streaming perks. So keep that in mind. They're saying another thing to note is that customers who were eligible to claim Hulu on Us as a legacy perk for grandfathered plans but chose not to redeem it will also be eligible to add Hulu on Us once the offer launches. So that's one good perk. If you missed the boat early last year, you can get back on it. The ship's coming back around for you. So that's one good thing. That's one good thing there. If you're okay with the ads, it's not so bad. T-Mobile's documents also say that Disney will be reaching out to T-Mobile customers with add-ons to inform them that they won't be able to keep them moving forward. So if you think you're affected, keep an eye out for that. And there is in the article, I didn't screenshot it, but like I said, it'll be there. It says Disney Plus add-on to be discontinued. Then there's a notice that says, if you currently have Hulu with ad subscription as an included benefit of your T-Mobile plan and a Disney Plus basic add-on subscription, we want to let you know that Disney Plus basic add-on will be discontinued. They're saying if you would like to keep your Hulu with ad subscription through T-Mobile, please visit your Hulu account page and remove the Disney Plus Basic add-on by December 8th. Please note that if you do not remove the Disney Plus Basic add-on description, you will be automatically updated to a Disney Bundle Dual Plan billed by Hulu on your first regularly priced billing cycle at the expiration of 12 months of your T-Mobile promotion. There will be no increase in your non-promotional monthly subscription fees as a result of this update, and you will continue to have access to both Hulu with ads and Disney Basic Plus. So this is just a way for them to get you to pay more. You know, I mean, they're doing this with all streaming services. They're literally taking, adding, spreading it out. They're partnering up. They're doing things behind the scenes, and it's a cash grab. It is what it is, right? And like I said, unfortunately, the carriers get left with the bill and the complaints because a lot of people are going to be calling them and upset. All right, so they're saying that the change is going in effect December 4th, so that's this Wednesday. They're saying existing customers may not need to take action until January 7th of 2025. That is the date when the Hulu memos will automatically be added to qualifying accounts. Now, you know, some of you may not even get notified about this. So just a heads up. So just remember this video and articles. If you read it anywhere else or hear it from anybody else, keep note, write it down, because T-Mobile is not always the best with, you know, notifications for whatever reason. So that's it. That's our first story. A little long there, but a lot to cover. Like I said, this is going to be a longer one because there's some things to talk about here. All right. So the next update here is regarding AT&T. AT&T says it expects over $18 billion in free cash flow in the year 2027, which is driven by 5G and fiber expansion. So things are looking bright at the end of that tunnel for AT&T, something we haven't seen in quite some time. It's been a better year for AT&T in 2024. They've done much better than we anticipated as far as sales. Customer satisfaction's been off the hook. Their reliability rating has gone back up. What's weird about this, okay, is a lot of good things coming on here from AT&T, but they had a weird year, right? Multiple outages and all kinds of problems with service. Then we have the copper theft, which is not their fault, right? But just a lot of bad press, a lot of things to really tick customers off. But yet at the end of the day, they had a pretty successful year, one of their best in a while. So this is really interesting. It's been an interesting year for them, I think, personally, following their journey this year. It's been strange, but yet somehow still very beneficial for them. So, yeah. Shares of the company rose 4.3%, they're saying, which hit its highest in more than 3 years. They're saying that AT&T aims to double its fiber internet availability and enhance its 5G network, offering customers bundled discounts on high-speed fiber data and wireless phone services. They're saying that the Dallas, Texas-based company's efforts align with the industry's trends towards a high-speed internet and have already yielded significant customer gains. The company expects to reach more than 50 million locations with fiber by 2029. It earlier reported 28.3 million fiber passings, or the number of the potential customers' locations a fiber network passes by. They're saying that AT&T's unlimited plans featuring perks like increased hotspot data have driven higher than expected wireless subscriber growth in the third quarter. Yeah, the recent changes to their plans and even adding the upgrade for Turbo has appealed to a lot of customers. So I think that's why we're starting to see their subscriber growth do a lot better as far as their actual wireless plans, which haven't been doing that good for quite some now. Many felt that those plans have been really stale, but the recent changes, the recent increases in hotspot, and like I said, the Turbo add-on has attracted a lot of customers. All right, so they're saying AT&T plans to return more than $40 billion to shareholders over the next 3 years through dividends and share repurchases. Annual capital investment is expected to remain around $22 billion in the period. They're saying that according to New Street research analyst Jonathan Chaplin, They're saying that AT&T's forecast and strategy suggests that they will continue in a new course and perhaps a slightly faster clip than we anticipated. They're saying that AT&T raised the lower end of its 2024 adjusted earnings per share forecast to between $2.20 and $2.25, compared with analysts' estimates of only $2.21 per share. All right. They're saying that it continued to outline the growth expectations for 2025 to 2027, excluding its 70% stake in DirecTV, which of course is being sold to TPG for $7.6 billion. That deal is expected to close by mid-2025. From 2025 to 2027, AT&T's forecast annual service revenue growth in the low single-digit range. So, yeah, like I said, rough, weird year for AT&T, but yet still looking good. Wireless plans doing better. Customers pretty much flocking to the upgrades there, and it looks like customers are taking note, because here's what's going on. There's been a lot of customers that may have always wanted to try AT&T, but when you look at the plans and you looked at the prices, you're just not getting enough for your money. And you look at you look at Verizon with my plans and all the perks that they've been adding, and you look at T-Mobile, who's always been pretty good with perks and, a little bit more on the affordable side. When you really break down the things that you get for those plans, usually that's the winner, right? T-Mobile usually, and then I think Verizon's been number 2, and many have wanted AT&T, but they simply just couldn't pay. They couldn't pay for it. They didn't feel like they were getting enough. So seeing the plans become a little bit more, giving, right? There's more to offer now with the plans a little bit. The Turbo add-on is a perk that many just find, interesting to just be able to get that reliability, that QCI dependability that you can get before. I mean, it's been a turn on for many, and we know that fiber, that's AT&T's baby. They've never been shy about it, and they're not going to stop. Fiber comes first, wireless comes second. So, but either way, this is good stuff here. So if you're someone that wants to see AT&T succeed, it looks like they finally have a plan here, which they've kind of been their plan was for a while just fiber. Wireless took the back seat. Within the last year, we saw wireless come back. They've done better. They've done some upgrades, slow, steady, but consistent, right? They're doing it. They've been good. And that's really all we can hope for with AT&T. They're not in no rush. They don't care about that 5G rat race. They haven't cared in a very long time. They gave up on it a long time ago. Instead, their thing is fiber. They see that's where they can make a lot of money, and they've made tons of money, and it's going to continue to grow for years. And this is why we're looking at a projected, very large cash flow over the next couple of years because of this, which will allow them to continue to build out 5G. And I'd rather them do it slow and steady than rush it and do it, backwards, half-assed, right? I'd rather them do a decent job and take their time, right? Like they've been doing. So, all right. So that's it for this one. All right. So T-Mobile leads in customer loyalty, AT&T and network quality. So both of these carriers are getting commended for their services here. So it looks like there was a survey conducted by RBC, which revealed key consumer preferences in the wireless and broadband sectors. They're saying that this survey, which gathered responses from over 1,000 customers in November 2024, found that network quality and monthly costs are the primary factors influencing customers' choices for wireless services. Myself as a consumer will tell you the same thing. Pricing matters. Network quality matters. And if I can get a great quality network, even an MVNO in my case, for a really low price, I'm going to jump on that. I'll measure at the end of the day to see if, how it stacks up. But there's just certain perks that I don't require, that I don't need every day. And, so these things are very important, T-Mobile emerged. they're saying, as the provider with the most loyal mobility customers, who are also the most likely to upgrade their devices frequently. So that means they're happy with T-Mobile. They want to stay, so they're willing to get new devices from, Magenta often. They're saying this customer loyalty has contributed to T-Mobile's impressive 46.5% stock price gain year to date, significantly outperforming the broader market. So according to Investing Pro, the company maintains a strong financial health score and trades near its 52-week high of $23.38. All right, so now they're saying AT&T's mobility customers place the highest value on network quality and were the most inclined to bundle their services with the broadband options. Well, especially now with fiber, right? AT&T fiber. So if you're looking for the better quality network, in most cases, not always, because you may be in an area where T-Mobile shines brightly, but in many cases, especially rural areas, you'll probably find that AT&T is a little bit more reliable for you. And if you can get your hands on fiber for whatever reason, if it's in your neck of the woods, bundling up, getting a bunch of family lines, that is what AT&T loves. They want it all. That's the traditional way of doing business with these carriers, right? They want to give it all to you. That's exactly what Verizon's been doing with the My Plans and all this. They're trying to give you everything they can so that there's no way for you to leave. Remember what I talked about earlier in this video with the first T-Mobile story. They want to get you locked in. It's much harder to leave if they can give you perks and benefits and a reason to stay. And even if they make some changes, it's going to be hard for you to leave if you have multiple lines, right? So that's the traditional AT&T way. But customers are okay with that because it turns out that the network quality has impressed many of these customers here in this recent survey update, and they're going for it. They're bundling up, they're saying. So that's really good news there for AT&T. All right, so they're saying in contrast, so what was it? The broadband options. This preference aligns with the company's focus on providing a high quality network experience. So then in contrast, they're saying Verizon came in with mobility customers that showed the least interest in upgrading their cell phones and had the lowest percentage of respondents considering switching providers. So I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I mean, anyone that I see that typically talks about Verizon is usually satisfied with them, but there's a dark side to all of these carriers. So, it just might happen wherever they did these surveys, these were unhappy Verizon customers. Maybe there's been some shift in changes there. Maybe some customer service issues made them feel differently about it. Recent perks and deals that are going on. Maybe they're just feeling like it's just not worth it for them. Maybe they're liking what they see with AT&T lately and T-Mobile, and maybe that's what it is. Maybe they're just going to MVNOs, maybe they're going to Visible, maybe they're going to Total. And it may not necessarily be that they're not happy with Verizon. They found cheaper ways to get Verizon's network, right? Like I'm using Visible Plus on my daily, and it's not that I don't like Verizon, because I am using Verizon. I'm just not using Verizon postpaid or prepaid, but I'm using their network. That is the network that I've been relying on most of the time because, I like Visible, and you guys listen to me, you know that. And I'm not a shill. I don't get paid to do this, to talk about Visible. They don't pay me. I just like a good deal when I see it. And I would say the same thing. I say the same thing about Metro. Right? That's my secondary go-to. So it's Visible, and then it's Metro, and then it's US Mobile Darkstar for AT&T because I like AT&T, and I'm waiting for the best deal with AT&T, and that might become my primary network. But I haven't seen a good enough MVNO to take the spot. Visible holds the candle. They hold the candle right now as far as cost and benefits, and a reliable Verizon network. It's just simple, in the fixed wireless access market, T-Mobile's customers prioritize monthly costs above other factors. However, Verizon's fixed wireless access customers differed, putting a premium on network quality as their main concern. Yeah, I mean, yeah, you gotta break it down. At the end of the day, getting perks is great, but if you can't use your service, what good is it? Right? Like Sprint used to offer great perks, music, streaming, but many of you will agree when you move out of a big city area, when you're not in an area that's well lit, that has multiple towers nearby, Sprint wasn't that reliable for many. It got better in later years, but that's because they were starting to already, connect with T-Mobile and they were piggybacking off of others. But Sprint alone, standalone, Sprint network, once you left big cities or even just went in a basement or anywhere where it wasn't well exposed, you would have a problem. And that's the thing with many T-Mobile customers. They felt that for a long time, and some still feel it. Not as much, but it was a problem with T-Mobile for a long time. It's starting to get better. It's gotten a lot better, I'll be honest. A lot better. But that was a problem. And that's where AT&T and Verizon were just able to shine. And it didn't matter what their plans looked like. Many customers didn't care. They needed a reliable network, and they went with what they felt was worth the price. Because they felt, well, what good is having the best streaming service if I can't stream because my service doesn't work? Right? What's the point of having all these streaming perks, having unlimited fast 5G data if I can't stream, if I can't use it because I don't have good reception or I can't make a phone call when I need to? This is where AT&T has always shined, and Verizon as well. And now T-Mobile is reaping those benefits. They've made a lot of mergers. They've been getting all the acquisitions they want, and they've been building out a strong network. And it's getting there. It's getting good. It's getting good. All right, so that's pretty much it for this. When it comes to technology preferences, AT&T's fixed wireless customers showed a strong inclination towards fiber technology. Meanwhile, customers of T-Mobile and Verizon favored mixed wireless technology. Yeah. Like I said, AT&T's fiber, that's their cash cow. And, Verizon has, of course, Fios, which is always going to be a top seller. But a lot of people can't get Fios. And the ones that can are going for their fixed wireless access, or they're going to T-Mobile's because maybe T-Mobile's got a better deal that day. We know T-Mobile throws deals left and right. They just had a wonderful Black Friday, Cyber Monday deal. Not that Verizon didn't have one too, but this is the battle. It goes on and on. Yeah. That's pretty much it though for this. So this is like a 2-in-1. Last article here. It's one that I forgot I had here that I want to talk about. So this will be the fourth one. The third one was a 2-in-1. But this last one here is actually regarding T-Mobile, just an interesting story. So it's from the Daily Dot. Like I said, all these links will be down for you in the description for all these articles. You can take a look at them. So we have here a customer who's irate and upset. And the title here is, "Now we need to pay for his mistake." So the customer accuses T-Mobile of lying after going in for a new phone and got stuck with a plan. Signed up for a plan that we were not supposed to get. All right, so this woman, of course, on TikTok, they're always on TikTok, is calling out a T-Mobile representative and the company in itself, saying that she lied to her about the cost of her new phone plan, it looks like. So the customer says that she and her family were loyal Metro PCS customers. She says that they didn't experience issues with the carrier, but were looking for options so that I guess her and her mom could upgrade their phone. So apparently Metro PCS told them it couldn't offer any promotions, but a worker there told her that her family could switch to T-Mobile and get a new phone, plus a better plan. Switching phone plans, of course, not something that she was really interested in doing. but they're saying that she's accusing T-Mobile of lying to her. As of Sunday, her TikTok clip had amassed more than 87,900 views. So it looks like she says that the T-Mobile worker told her that she could get an even cheaper phone plan, 3 lines for $90 per month. In addition, her mom her mom's phone would only cost $18 per month as long as the family stayed with T-Mobile for the next 24 months. She's saying to get the credit for this phone, it all sounded like, a great deal in the beginning. Then the first bill came. She says it was $118. She asked why she was charged more. She says a worker told her that $90 per month rate was only for those who set up automatic payments. After that's fixed, she was going to be that she was under the impression that the future bills would reflect $90 per month and that she would that would be it. And T-Mobile agreed to. This article, I apologize, this article was not well written, which is why I'm shifting here. But basically, in short, that didn't happen. So for the second month's bill, she's saying she was informed that the worker who signed her up for a family phone plan accidentally gave them a military discount. And since her family is not in the military, she was told that the plan would now cost $155 a month. So we have a T-Mobile worker here was probably trying to achieve some goals at the end of the month or whatnot. And they pulled a fast one. They gave this customer a discount that wasn't theirs. And it looks like someone caught it and did an adjustment. And, now this customer has to pay for it. So $55 more than what she now paid on Metro at the time. She says she was upset, of course. Now she's saying she's going to have to pay a lot more, that the guy signed her up for a plan that they were not supposed to get, and now we need to pay for their mistake. So it looks like there was a response from T-Mobile. So let's go ahead and read this. So they're saying that T-Mobile refused to honor the initial $90 per month price that the customer thought they had agreed to. She said that T-Mobile told her that her family could indeed switch providers, but doing so would make her mom's phone, which she bought with the T-Mobile plan, cost $300. So of course she's upset, blah, blah, blah. She's saying she can't do anything about it, and I don't think that's fair. In a follow-up clip, she says too that it would be useless to pay $300 for a phone because she would no longer be a T-Mobile customer after it paid off. So that's basically it. A lot of gibberish here. Of course, it's, TikTok, so just a lot of this person trying to get views. But in short, here's what we're talking about. This person was basically went in there, right? And someone gave them a discount that they weren't supposed to get. So now the customer is inconvenienced. And T-Mobile's not really doing much about it. Shouldn't T-Mobile have offered them some kind of better plan? Shouldn't they have offered them one of their more like an essential plan or something like that to try to keep the customers? I don't understand that, But this is the problem with sometimes going into the stores. This is why you're actually better off educating yourself, learning how much these plans cost, learning what the real benefits are yourself, and doing it online. Because what good is that customer experience when the customer experience is usually awful? That's why I'm talking about this here. You got to learn the price of things on your own. You can't depend on these customer service reps to help you, because a lot of them don't even know how to do their job, and they certainly don't care about their job. And the customer often is the one that gets stuck with it. So now, this person probably ported their number over. Now they got to port it out again. They got to waste time. And this person has their mom, who I'm guessing is on the older side, now has to be inconvenienced and switch, and maybe got used to the phone already. And it's just a headache. She would have been better off staying with Metro. It was cheaper. There's plenty of good phones on Metro's website that you can get used to, and plenty of free phones or very low cost to nothing phones. That's why I rave so much about, I know, Metro is just a subsidiary of T-Mobile. It's not really an MVNO, but I think we can still consider it one, even though it's not directly one. Nonetheless, it's a budget way, a fantastic way of using T-Mobile's network, getting great deals on phones, maybe even free, like I just said, and you don't have to deal with all the T-Mobile hassles. You don't have to deal with all the T-Mobile hassles, or just in general. Like, also, you have to know what you're paying for before you sign up. You have to learn about the plans. You can't trust customer service reps. They're notorious for making mistakes, not necessarily always on purpose, but because they don't care. They're not educated enough because they're not willing to learn. They don't really want to do this. And unfortunately, their performance leaks out and affects the customers. Sometimes they're just trying to pull a fast one, yes. Sometimes they need to meet their goals, and they have no intentions of actually leaving it. Probably once that rep left the store, once the customer left the store, that rep went ahead and adjusted that benefit right away. Took that discount off. He got his sales goal, and he figured, well, the customer will call in, and someone else will get that call. She probably won't even come back to the store. She'll just call support, and they'll get the headache and adjust it. And it's a nasty game, but it happens all the time. And again, the customer's the one that's left with the bill and the headaches, and yeah. So that's why I like MVNOs a lot. That's why I like that whole just buy my phone, buy my plan. When I'm sick of it, cancel it. I don't owe nobody nothing. And there's no way that I have to deal with such a headache as you can often get into. But look, if you know that you like the network, you've had good experiences with it, and you're staying with it, and there's no guarantee that you're not staying with it, then it's worth to get the phones and finance them because you can trust it. But for some of us, like, we don't know if we want to stay with it. For me, I don't want to be hooked in. I was hooked in for years. I didn't like it. I like the freedom and flexibility that I have to just go to carrier, take my phone that I purchased outright, and that's it. I may not have the latest and greatest phone that just came out yesterday, but, I also, for me, that doesn't matter. It's good enough. It may not the newest model. Maybe it's the model before that, or maybe it's, close to the newest model or whatnot, but I'm also not stuck, like I'm not stuck with the carriers. I can leave when I want and not have to worry about it. Anyway, that is it now. So 4 stories, links down below. As I mentioned, thank you guys so much for stopping by and watching, and we'll catch you in the next one. Bye for now.